Tambo 22 is a passage to Peru in Chelsea, right along routes 1 and 16.
I always wanted to open a restaurant in Chelsea. I saw that there were a lot of people that were looking for good food.
Chef Jose Duarte was born in Peru and now calls Chelsea home. His intimate and rustic dining destination is the best of both of his worlds.
The tambos were these places that were meant to feed people and to people to rest.
The Tambo structure, built by the Incans, dates back centuries. This more modern edifice at 22 Adams Street strives to offer the same concept of refuge and replenishment.
I've always eaten Peruvian food. I've always been passionate about it, and it's part of my culture. It's part of what I am. I feel that that's something that I could share with people.
The food also offers Duarte an opportunity to dish out some of Peru's rich history.
Causa is a dish that started actually when Peru had a war against Chile. The soldiers needed food, so these ladies were going around asking for food for the cause of the Peruvian soldiers. Causa means cause. They built this sort of shepherd's pie with all these layers, and they fed the soldiers with that.
Duarte's deconstructed causa trio is served with shrimp, crab, and octopus. There's also the lomo saltado, a beef tenderloin stir fry, the paiche amazonico, a freshwater fish wrapped in a banana leaf, and of course, ceviche. This is good and refreshing.
One of the things that I really emphasize is good food. You can be eating under a tree, in a field, but if the food is good, that's what I'm looking for. For me, there is no middle point. It's gotta be good. Period.
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 Punto.
Welcome to Balea,
You want some eggplant?
where a taste of Portugal is nestled in Boston's South End.
I know a lot about Portuguese culinary, so I was very happy to find some items in the menu that I could, relate to culturally.
Here, the aroma of freshly baked Portuguese bread and simmering spices are transporting guests to the country's sun-kissed shores.
Is Santa Luzia, named after this beach that's famous for its beautiful sunsets.
Every dish tells a story full of flavor and tradition, many of which were uncovered through travel.
So the concept was inspired by a couple trips to Portugal, and we wanted to bring the flavors of Portugal, highlight Portuguese food in a modern, new way with using New England ingredients.
Chef and partner Andrew Hebert has written a love letter to Portugal through dishes like
Cataplana, which is a seafood stew that is inspired by a traditional dish from the Algarve region of Portugal. We also have our piri-piri chicken, which is very popular. Serve it with French fries, which is a very traditional way of serving it.
the menu, also featuring dishes like octopus carpaccio and sautéed shrimp. Plates are meant to create a communal culinary experience.
It's just a lot of share. So food just kind of comes as it's ready, and people are just, passing plates around the table.
And when it comes to cocktails and wine, the theme continues.
It was kind of like, when we're featuring a heavily Portuguese-inspired menu, I just thought what a better way to complement the food is to just feature an all-Portuguese wine list.
People and wine director Tony Maiorino on curating her list.
The wines in front of me are kind of near and dear to my heart in particular. I remember having this wine and thinking, this is one of the most delicious things I've ever tasted.
Jewel of Marrakesh?
And Furnace Spring, please.
You got it.
Thank you.
Maiorino says many guests start with a cocktail and then transition to wine over the course of their meal. But the Portuguese influence isn't just found in the food and drink. The ambiance enchants as well.
A lot of arches, and then at night when the lights go down, we have this sort of glow in the restaurant that sort of just reminds me of like a sunset in Portugal.
Balea is part of the Coda Restaurant Group, which also runs SRV in the South End, Salty Pig in Back Bay, and Gufo in Cambridge. The wine director told us the group doesn't have a sommelier. They stress wine education with all the waitstaff because they're the ones with the guests from start to finish, and the guests should trust them with the food and wine recommendations. And back to Tambo 22, the chef Jose Duarte looks familiar. You may remember him from Taranta. in the North End restaurant he ran with his wife for 20 years. Coming up, a Japanese delicacy in Boston.